We're meeting here at almost exactly the 100-day mark of the Biden presidency. And what we have seen so far in the Biden presidency is even farther left policies than we could have anticipated, and certainly than he campaigned on.
Looking live at Orlando, Florida, where Liz Cheney and other House Republicans are huddling, trying to come up with a game plan for 2022 to counter the Joe Biden agenda. Joining me now is Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson, who's attending that retreat. Congressman, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Jerry, great to be with you.
So we just heard from Congresswoman Cheney, of course, earlier. I don't know if you heard it, but we heard from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying that this Biden administration is turning out to be even more progressive than she'd hoped. Even the far left are very, very happy with this Biden administration. Now, a lot of it is because, you know, it involves a lot of spending money. They've spent $1.9 trillion already. He's going to announce big more spending plans this week. People kind of like having money thrown at them, don't they? Isn't that a bit of a challenge for Republicans? How are you going to challenge that?
Yeah, they like having money thrown at them until they realize that there's a sacrifice of their freedom to go along with those big socialism goals and ideals. And that's part of our challenge, is to communicate that and what all this means to the American people. I'll tell you this, Jerry, we're here with all the Republicans here in Orlando for the Issues Conference. There's a great sense of esprit de corps, of really, I think, enthusiasm about the future, while we're deeply concerned about this far left shift of the Biden administration and the Democrats that run Congress right now. We know that the American people are going to turn against this agenda when they understand what it means to them. We're excited about the next round, the 2022 election cycle. We're convinced we're going to take the majority, at least in the House, and I think the Senate may be in play, and we're looking forward to good days ahead. We're bullish on the future of America.
And Congressman, historically, presidents in the midterm elections, in their first term, their party loses ground, loses seats. As you just said, you're already very close in the House, just a handful of seats in the House. The Senate is tied. So all looks set fair for significant Republican gains in 2022. How can you achieve that? Or put it another way, what could go wrong?
Well, I think that we're destined to return. History is on our side. Of course, redistricting, everyone says, the analysts say this will favor the Republican Party in a number of states, so we'll add seats there as well. And most importantly, in addition to all that, the far left surge of the Democrat Party is alarming to most Americans, many Americans, millions and millions more. The polling is indicating that they're turning away from that. So they're going to be looking for the alternative. Our challenge as Republicans is to be able to be ready to present that. And we have all kinds of policy solutions. We have answers to all the greatest challenges facing the country. We have to get that out now and message it to our constituents and let them know exactly what we will do to fulfill those promises when we get the gavel back and get back to our governing moment in 2022.
A political challenge you may face, though, over the next year or so is COVID is coming to an end, we hope. The economy is bouncing back. We're going to get first quarter GDP figures on Thursday. It looks people are talking about 6-7% growth this year. There's going to be a pretty strong feel-good factor in the country, isn't there, towards the end of this year and through 2022? Isn't that what the Biden administration are banking on to get them through those midterm elections? And again, how do you counter that at a time when the economy unemployment could be back down to 3.5%, the economy could be booming again?
Well, we all pray that that happens, of course, and when it does, if and when it does, it'll be because of the infrastructure, the metaphorical infrastructure that was put in place by the previous administration. It was the Trump administration that put the policies in place to build for that kind of economic growth and that kind of recovery. The reason that, of course, COVID-19 and the vaccines and all of that have been so successful is because of Operation Warp Speed. The reason the economy is positioned to take a big recovery is because of what the Trump administration did. If you rewind to February of last year, we all know we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. And so that basic infrastructure is still in place. And thankfully, because of that, we're going to be able to bounce back. But what the Biden administration is doing, not just proposing, but doing by executive order, what they're trying to push through the Congress, is this massive far left agenda that is big spending, big government, big control of everyone's lives, higher taxes, more regulation, the expansion of radical leftist ideas. And I think the American people are going to turn against that. We're going to be ready.
Congressman, got to cut you off there. But thank you very much indeed. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the retreat.